80,000 units, 65 years in service. The M113 is the most prolific armored personnel carrier ever built, and dozens of armies still depend on it today. Now, Finland believes a single 15-ton tracked vehicle from Patria, estimated at roughly $7 million, can finally do what no platform has managed in 6 decades: replace it. But the real reason militaries are moving on has nothing to do with the vehicle itself. When the M113 entered service in 1960, few could have predicted the scale it would reach. Over the next 6 decades, production lines around the world turned out nearly 80,000 units. This was not just a matter of military fashion. Armies from the United States to Vietnam, from Norway to Egypt, all turned to the M113 because it could be built quickly, shipped easily, and adapted to almost any battlefield role. Its basic design, an aluminum-bodied 12-ton tracked box with a crew of 2 and room for a full squad, proved so versatile that dozens of variants emerged: command vehicles, ambulances, mortar carriers, and air defense platforms. The sheer number of M113s in service meant that replacement would never be a simple matter of swapping one vehicle for another. In many countries, entire doctrines and support systems grew up around the M113's dimensions, weight, and mobility. Its ability to cross rivers without engineers, keep pace with tanks, and operate in snow or mud made it a backbone for mechanized infantry. Today, despite its age, thousands still roll in active duty, performing the same essential job they did in the 1960s, delivering troops safely across difficult terrain. Any candidate to take over this role faces not just a technical challenge, but the burden of succeeding a true workhorse, one whose legacy is measured in tens of thousands of hulls and millions of operational miles. On today's battlefield, the assumptions that once made the M113 a universal solution no longer hold. The threats that shape modern combat, buried mines, loitering drones, and precision-guided artillery, have changed the calculus for every armored personnel carrier. Mines are no longer rare obstacles, but routine hazards layered across likely routes, capable of flipping or gutting lightly protected vehicles with little warning. Drones, cheap and networked, can spot, track, and even directly attack vehicles from above, turning open ground and even tree cover into potential kill zones. Precision fires, from guided rockets to cluster munitions, mean that any vehicle caught in the open for too long risks destruction from distances unthinkable in the M113's heyday. Operational commanders now face a dilemma. The legacy armored personnel carriers that once offered safe passage are increasingly vulnerable, especially when forced off roads into marshes or snowfields to avoid detection. The very mobility that defined the M113's value, its ability to cross difficult terrain, now exposes its thin armor and dated protection schemes to threats they were never designed to counter. Survivability is no longer just about stopping bullets. It is about avoiding detection, minimizing exposure, and keeping moving in places where wheels and heavy tracks bog down. This trio of threats, mines, drones, and precision fires demands a new approach to protected mobility, one that preserves the core mission of delivering troops to the fight, but with the resilience and agility to survive in a radically more dangerous environment. Finland's search for a modern tracked personnel carrier centers on a specific weight class, vehicles between 13 to 18 tons that combine the mobility of the classic M113 with protection and ergonomics tuned for today's threats. Patria's TrackX stands as the first clean sheet answer to this requirement, developed in close partnership with the Finnish Defense Forces. The program's public roadmap is unusually clear for a new armored vehicle. TrackX received its official name and public unveiling on September 9, 2025 at the DSEI exhibition in London. By that point, Patria had already completed internal testing of the first pre-series prototype in March 2025. The plan is straightforward and ambitious. Initial deliveries to the Finnish Defense Force are scheduled for 2026, with full serial production readiness targeted for the end of 2027. These dates are not just marketing copy. They are echoed in Patria's own press releases, Finnish procurement briefs, and independent defense reporting. The timeline aligns with the EU-backed FAMOUS program, which provides 132 million euros to support integration, validation, and the first production run. This partnership ensures local industry involvement and a clear path from prototype to fielded vehicle. By fixing TrackX within the 13 to 18-ton class, Patria and the Finnish Defense Forces are signaling continuity. The new platform is designed to fill the exact niche the M113 once occupied. The roadmap is built around operational needs, mobility in snow and marsh, rapid fielding, and the ability to carry a full squad in a single hull. With a 2025 launch, 2026 first deliveries, and 2027 production ramp-up, TrackX is positioned as a near-term, credible replacement, not a distant concept. This clarity of schedule and purpose sets the stage for understanding the real technical arguments behind the program. Inside the hull of Patria's TrackX, the layout reflects a clear purpose: carry a full infantry squad, plus a 2-person crew, in a single protected compartment. This 2+10 configuration is not just a nod to tradition, it is a direct answer to the operational needs that shaped the M113's original design. Each seat is blast attenuating, with rapid release fittings for gear and weapons, giving troops the ability to load in, ride out, and dismount swiftly under fire. The interior is open and modular, designed for comfort on long patrols, but also for rapid reconfiguration, whether the mission calls for drones, medical kits, or command gear. But the real advantage in the Finnish environment comes from what happens beneath the tracks. TrackX is engineered for the kind of soft, unpredictable ground that defines large parts of Finland: deep snow in Lapland, peat bogs in the west, thawing fields in the spring. The key number here is 32 kilopascals. That is the maximum ground pressure the fully loaded vehicle exerts, less than a third of what legacy M113 vehicles produce, and well below the threshold where most tracked vehicles would bog down. In practical terms, this means TrackX can float across terrain that would trap heavier, narrower tracked vehicles. On a snowy forest trail or a marshy crossing, it keeps moving while others dig in and stall. This low ground pressure is not just a technical detail, it is the single most important reason Finland is betting on TrackX as its next generation carrier. In field trials, the vehicle maintained traction and speed across a meter of snow and half a meter deep peat, areas where even the best upgraded M113 vehicles would lose mobility or require rescue. For the infantry squad inside, this means fewer delays, less exposure to enemy fire, and a greater chance of reaching the objective together. The mobility first philosophy. Carry the whole team, go where others cannot, and keep moving no matter the season, anchors Track's claim to replace the M113 legacy. TrackX's weight figures reveal a deliberate balance between protection, capacity, and future flexibility. The vehicle's empty mass stands at 12 tons, light for its class, yet engineered to support a full combat load of 15.5 tons. That 3.5 tons of difference is more than just a payload number, it is a built-in growth margin. With this headroom, TrackX can accept additional armor, remote weapon stations, or specialized mission kits without exceeding its design limits. Patria's engineers have treated payload capacity not as a static figure, but as a foundation for adaptation over decades of service. This approach ensures that as battlefield requirements evolve, whether through new electronics, counter-drone systems, or heavier protection packages, the vehicle can absorb upgrades without compromising mobility or reliability. In a field where every kilogram counts, the 12, 15.5, 3.5-ton trio is a statement of foresight, preserving Track's operational envelope for the demands of tomorrow's conflicts. TrackX is built to keep pace with the demands of modern maneuver warfare. Its certified top speed of 80 kilometers per hour on paved roads gives unit commanders the ability to redeploy squads quickly across Finland's long distances, matching or exceeding the operational tempo of heavier armored vehicles. Off-road, this speed margin translates directly into shorter exposure windows for enemy drones and artillery. The amphibious capability is equally deliberate. TrackX swims at 4 kilometers per hour, using its tracks to propel through water without the need for external preparation. While the M113 could reach about 5.8 kilometers per hour in water, the difference is less important than the shared ability to cross rivers and flooded ground without engineers or bridging equipment. For Finnish doctrine, which prizes uninterrupted movement across snowfields, marshes, and lakes, this combination of high road speed and reliable amphibious reach preserves the core promise of the light-tracked carrier: to deliver troops anywhere, regardless of season or terrain, without breaking the flow of operations. Patria's TrackX enters the field with a protection scheme rooted in NATO STANIG 4569 standards. The baseline vehicle is delivered with Level 1 ballistic protection, designed to withstand 7.62mm NATO ball ammunition. For operators needing more, an optional kit raises the frontal arc to Level 2, capable of stopping 7.62mm armor-piercing rounds. This approach, starting light with the option to add armor, reflects a deliberate trade-off. Instead of chasing the heavy protection of infantry fighting vehicles, TrackX prioritizes mobility and payload, keeping ground pressure low enough for snowfields and marshes. Procurement planners face another reality. Patria has never published an official per-unit price. The widely cited $7 million figure is an estimate from secondary sources, not a confirmed contract value. What is official is the famous program's 132 million euros budget, which funds integration, validation, and the first production batch. In this context, the real argument for replacement rests on operational reach, squad capacity, and readiness to field, not on headline price tags or promises of heavy armor. Today, the real logic for replacing M113 class carriers is not firepower or price. It is proven mobility, where snow, thaw, and marsh define the fight. TrackX shows that continuity matters. Same mission, new tools, verified specs. In modern defense, ground pressure, not headlines, determines who gets through. What is your view? Share below.